First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakaha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who I learned from. Shalom to the whole for life, preaching this word in truth and sincerity to you, ribs. To you sisters out there learning in silence and staying in order, I say to you all, Shalom. So, I came across this this news article from naturalnews.com, right? And it reads, UN campaign aims to enroll 50 countries in digital ID initiative by 2028. Right. So as we see all the, Matthew's 24:6 is, wars and rumors of wars that's going on, how everything is moving. This devil knows that he got but a short time. So he has to figure out a way to, he knows that he got a short time, and he's kind of like scratching and clawing, knowing that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is almost here, man. Right, and this is why you hear rumors, they got this space atlas, whatever the hell thing out in the, in the galaxy. We don't know if that's true or not, but he uses that to extract more money to be able to use it for his war, right? For his funding of, weapons, because the Lord had blessed him with weapon, the sword. But anyways, let's read this. It says the UN's 50 in 5 campaign, backed by the Gates Foundation, aims to implement digital public infrastructure, DPI, in 50 countries by 2028. Now, it's funny, right? We got this guy, Gates, who, he does the computer, the window infrastructure, stuff like that. He's heavily invested in the medical field, right? We're not gonna get too deep into it because I've been stricken a lot for this topic. Had a couple channels taken down talking about it, right? It's crazy, man. If I was telling a lie, why would they take it down? This guy is known to have a lot of controversy surrounding his name, so they go out of their way to protect this man, right? And speaking of the UN, they was publicly speaking about having a global police for misinformation. Basically the people who are spreading truths to be silenced. And the scriptures talk about that as well. Right? It talks about the famine of the word. Right? And that has to do with this entity as well. So you see how this beast, right, is tied into Babylon. Right? The whore, which is Babylon, USA, rides on the United Nations to implement a lot of laws and enforce the law throughout the world. Right, says including the ID's payment system and data sharing platforms framed as progress, but criticized as a tool for centralized control. Now, in the age of technology, they've been first making these database warehouses for many years. Then they put up the 5G towers. Now it's set and ready to move forward and roll on. Right? They had a couple hiccups, but throughout all that, they've been planning this, and it's ready by 2028. It says digital ID, centralized biometrics data, fingerprints, facial scans, and track personal activities, raising fears of mass surveillance, social credit systems, and loss of privacy under the guise of convenience and financial inclusion. Right? Same thing that they did over there in China, man. Esau was behind all that. It was a test. It worked. It is working, and they're getting ready to use it throughout the world. Right? This is not a Chinese invention. This is not they're doing. This is Esau's doing because he has control of the whole earth, pertaining to Job 9:24. Says countries like India and Ethiopia, Vietnam and Thailand are making digital ID mandatory. So you see, it's not just them behind secret doors, behind closed doors. Amalek, Esau, is the one that's pushing everybody to do these things. Just for banking, educational, travel, even internet access. Right? We've seen what happened over there in the Asian country. I forgot the name of it, where they stopped social media and they damn near killed a lot of politicians. Right? That was a test to see how the people react and how attached they are to the system. It says freezing accounts and restricting services for non-compliance. So now, them people that rioted out there and killed the politicians, right? I think it was the first lady. They got killed or really really hurt. If they would have just shut their money off, their bank accounts, or threatened them with that, they would have never came out to the street. It's kind of like an electronic collar on a dog, right? You push this button, boom, the dog jumps up and says, "Hey, what was that?" So this is total control of the people, right? Now, there's a lot to read here, man. I'm not gonna go through all of it, but you all can find this at naturalnews.com. UN campaigns aims to enroll 50 countries in digital ID initiative by 2028. Right? This is Psalms 37 and verse 12. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnashes upon him with his teeth. Right? And his teeth goes into his military might, his strength, right? The sword that the Lord had blessed him with. He's gonna use that. He's gonna do all these things by force, force, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical force, but when you shut off somebody's food and access to their bank, you're slowly killing them without actually killing them, right? You're giving them a choice: either you join us on this side and live, or you get cut off and die slow. Right? It's just these paper shackles, man. This is verse 13. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. Right? And this is what he's doing this for. Right? He's doing it because he knows he got but a short time. Verse 14. The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy. Right? Because when they implement the mark of the beast, man, the free and the bond, the rich and the poor are going to receive it, right? But the one that's going to be really put in a predicament will be the poor, right? The ones that are in government assistance, and things like that, and the people live in the projects, Section 8, with kids that have no means of providing for their kids, right? They're the ones that are going to be, jumping on the bandwagon first, right? This is an attack on the just, man, the Jakes, man, to separate them from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. This is his last hurrah to say, hey, I own the people, and there's nothing else to be saved here. This is his last attempt. Right? This is Psalms 140, verse 1. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Deliver me, O Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischief in his heart continually. Are they gathered together for war? Right? This is a sign of war, man. This is the get down or lay down of Esau. Verse 3, they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent, adders poison is under their lips. Salah. This is verse 4. Keep me, O Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purposed to overthrow my goings. Right? At this point, there will be no travel. There will be no transportation. There will be no participation in the system. This is total alienation from the system to the righteous. But to the wicked, they're going to receive it and they're going to get fire for it. But anyways, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who I learned from. Shalom to the whole for life, preaching this word in true sincerity. To you ribs, to you sisters out there, learning in silence and staying in order. I say to you all, Shalom.